Counter, Wells Fargo Shane P, University Bank, SEK Urgent Care, Commerce Bank, Crossland Construction, Jocksnip Sporting Goods, Watco Company, Lane Lord Basketball Camp, Babette Bank, Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing, Lindbergh Pharmacy, Pittsburgh State University, Cy Smile Center, Ryan Insurance, and the Spigarelli Law Firm.
Now let's go live courtside for tonight's pregame show on ESPN 100.7.
It is an out-of-state matchup here in Carthage, Missouri, as the Tigers look to defend their day against the 0-2 Frontenac Raiders. Hello, folks. We welcome you to Radio X 103.5 The Evolution, alongside Caleb Withnow, with the likes of our very stellar board out back of the studio and Anthony Sweeney. I'm Cam Molina. Well, for this Frontenac Raiders team, an 0-2 start is not what they want to see. Head coach Ryan Barcelona has been pleased with his kids' output as of late, but looking for that elusive first win of the season following a dismantling against the likes of the Labette County Grizzlies. For this Carthage team, they fell last time to a very difficult Joplin team in what was a nail-biter contest. It was a 4-point loss against that club. Actually all of the wins for the Tigers this season have been within 4 points this year, so expect a tight matchup tonight. We will step aside for 1 minute and have an interview with Raiders head boys basketball coach Ryan Barcelona after a 1 minute break. You're listening to the home of Frontenac Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
After 3 decades in business, Bittner Motors of Pittsburgh.
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
103.5 The Evolution.
Hello, we welcome you back to Radio X 103.5 The Evolution. Cam Molina joined by Frontenac head boys basketball coach Ryan Barcelona. Coach, last time out you took on a difficult Labette County High School team. They have a lot of talent. Your guys performed admirably in that contest. Can you touch on your impressions of the game?
The biggest thing we got better from game 1 to game 2, and that's one thing as a coach you're always looking for, is just to see that improvement from game 1 to game 2. We only had the one practice, but I did see improvement. We didn't shoot the ball as well as I want to, but that'll come as the year goes along. But I thought our kids competed really hard, and our 2 guards really rose up to the challenge of taking on 2 good offensive players from Labette and really holding them down all game long and giving us a chance.
Coach, one area that really stuck out to me was the free throw shooting by the Grizzlies. They went to the line a total of 35 times. I know it's early on in the season. A lot of your guys are transitioning from basketball, but you have to make an emphasis that we can't foul in game and give teams easy opportunities.
Yeah, we talked to the official, about it on a few calls, and, the official, he said, you guys look like you're still playing football. And I said, well, it's probably because 10 days ago we were playing football. So we're a little bit more physical right now, and we know that's gonna be better as the season goes. And it's just they're used to using their body and being physical right now and playing with their hands. And so we just got to get them to moving their feet more and keeping their hands off and going straight up, and all those things will come. And we got to cut down on the other team shooting so many free throws, because I think that'll be 2 games in a row where the other team shot 20 more free throws than we have. And if we can get that number to be equal, we feel like we got a pretty good chance to win these games.
Coach, it was the front court that really was the catalyst for your team staying in it. More importantly, off the bench, Noah Brooks played a fantastic game, albeit he did foul out. Can you touch on how the junior rose to the occasion off the bench?
Yeah, it was really good to see him step up. You know, we hated to see Hayden Pyle go down, and of course that's going to shorten up our rotation. But you know, he played a good game off the bench, and you know, I was really glad to see Brock be as aggressive as he was. That really gives our team a mentality, and Noah was able to feed off of it, and you know, and as a whole unit, I thought we were able to feed off playing inside out, slow the game down a little bit, and I felt like we got to play the game at our tempo.
Currently talking with Frontenac boys basketball coach Ryan Barcelona. Coach, can you touch on having a truncated bench? As you mentioned, Pyle injured currently. It looks like he had an apparent leg injury against the Grizzlies. Brooks ended up fouling out in the last contest. That kind of left you with about 7 guys total, so you only were able to go 6-7 deep. Can you touch on how difficult it is to have your team adjust mid-game to that kind of obstacle?
Yeah, it is difficult because, you know, when you're moving guys that are used to playing the 2 or 3, and now they need to step in and play a 4, you got to adjust on the fly. But, you know, we kind of look at it, it's early in the season, and it's good to be throwing these challenges now. That way when we get into league play and sub-state play, that something bad happens, we've got multiple lineups ready to go. So there's a good and bad with it, and what we just try to do is try to improve from it. And you know, it's just the next guy up mentality. You know, they're not going to stop playing the games because we lose somebody, so we got to step up and rise to the occasion.
Levette's big forward and Easton Dean somewhat had a heyday against you guys, nearly recording a double-double. That could be an issue this season, Coach. A lot of hype against your club this year. Your tallest player is Brooks, probably coming off the bench for most of the year once Pyle gets back. Can you touch on how you plan to deal with taller players heading forward?
Yeah, the main thing is we got to box out and limit their touches. You know, Dean was able to get a couple easy putbacks on offensive rebounds. But, you know, the one thing is you can't coach height. You know, so if you run into 6'7", 6'8", all you can do is battle as best you can and make them work for every shot and try to keep them out of the paint, and make them take difficult shots instead of the easy 2-footers that, you know, end up being layups or dunks. So that's about all we can do. You know, we can't. If we could, we'd make all of our guys 6'8", 6'9", but you know, we can't do that. So we gotta coach them up.
Well, Coach, coming out now, you will take on a Carthage team that is in a similar situation that your club has been in. Coach Ray is bringing in about 12 players from his football team, trying to get them to adjust to the speed of basketball. Can you touch on playing a club like Carthage on the road and a tough Missouri school overall?
Yeah, Carthage, you know, they've got a lot of good athletes over there, and they got some height as well. And, you know, they played a great game against Joplin the other night. That game went down the wire, and Joplin's undefeated. And, you know, Carthage, they got us here last year. We had to lead go late in the game and kind of close it out. And so we'll have our hands full again tonight. We'll have to play a real good game, but playing these bigger schools, this is what you want. You know, you want these challenges, and it's another great challenge for our kids tonight to go out and compete against a big school.
Once again, that was the Frontenac head boys basketball coach, Ryan Barcelona. When we return to Radio X 103.5 The Evolution, we will be joined by Carthage boys head basketball coach, Steve Ray. You're listening to the home of Frontenac Athletics on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
Save where you shop with Labette Bank's Bazing checking account. Use the Bazing app to find over 300,000 national and local discounts. Bazing also offers industry-leading identity theft protection, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, paying up to $200 for damaged phones, pharmacy, vision, and hearing savings. With Bazing checking, you get deals you want and protection you deserve. Stop by and ask us about Bazing at Labette Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Find us fast in names and numbers.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Hello, and we welcome you back to Radio X 103.5, The Evolution. Cam Molina joined by Carthage Tigers head boys basketball coach Stephen Ray. Coach, last time out, you played a Joplin High School team that ultimately triumphed over you 48-44, but 2 wins this season, and over the last 3 games, your club had been able to grind out victories. Last 3 contests, either 2 wins or a loss decided by 4 points or less. Can you talk about the demeanor of your team in that regard?
They've been very good. You know, it's one of those things that you try to simulate a little bit in practice. You know, late game situations, how do you handle being up by 1, down by 1, you know, having to make a play when you have to make it. And sometimes the best teacher is being on the floor. With our limited practice time, we haven't obviously been able to simulate everything. So the way our guys have responded has been very positive. We felt like we really battled over at Joplin. It's a very good basketball team, and Coach Afer's done a good job. We felt like we were right there with a 1-possession game in the basketball late in that game, and just couldn't quite make the play. But I thought our guys' thought process was in the right spot, and then obviously beat a good West Plains team and beat Neosho, a team that we're really familiar with. I thought those were really good wins for us.
Coach, a relatively young club, but aside from the 6 sophomores you have 3 seniors in Smith, Johnson, and Fullerton. Can you touch on how well those 3 have played this season, not only on the court, but able to nurture and help mature some of your younger players?
Well, they've been through it, you know, and I think that's a huge critical piece of this is that, you know, you want your leaders to be kids that your younger guys can look to and kind of know that they've been in that same spot as well. And all 3 of those guys have been 3-year contributors for us and have had to kind of adopt different roles at different times and that type of thing. And that's kind of what our sophomores are going through. You know, some of those kids are playing big minutes, some of them are playing spot minutes and that type of thing. So just try to get used to that for the first time. It takes a little time. And so, you know, sometimes hearing it from a teammate or somebody that's kind of been through it helps that a lot. And I think Brett, Chase, and Arkell, all 3 have been valuable in that way. And plus, I think just on the court, just kind of giving some steadiness. They've been in a lot of basketball games, and so there's not much they have not been through or seen. So with a young team and a team that's relatively inexperienced, that's a huge help for us.
Currently talking with Steve Ray, head boys basketball coach of the Carthage Tigers. You have 12 players who are on the football team this season, and then you bring them in, and there's that adjustment period. Can you talk about sometimes how difficult it is for getting those football players adjusted to the speed of the game?
Well, I think a big part of it is, you know, when you get into the state football playoffs, at that point you've played an entire regular season, so your practices typically are pared down. You're dealing more with scouting report stuff. You're kind of...
If you want to improve your basketball skill set, you need to attend one of the Lane Lord basketball camps. Each camper receives individual attention and specific coaching adapted to age and skill level. There's something for everyone. A grade school camp for girls entering 3rd through 8th grade, a high school team camp available on 2 different weekends with both varsity and JV levels of competition, plus satellite camps throughout the summer. All campers receive instruction from head coach Lane Lord, head assistant Amanda David, along with former and current players. For more information, visit them online at LaneLordBBallCamps.com. Coach Lord and Coach David have seen tremendous success over the past several years, and they begin their recruiting at these camps, with over 20 former campers being signed. Visit LaneLordBBallCamps.com.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
And we welcome you back out to Carthage, Missouri. Cam Molina with you. Caleb with now our camera operator with Anthony Sweeney back on our Radio X 103.5 studios. Quick rundown of the starting lineups. For the visiting Raiders, it will be Daniel Watts, the senior, Jake Wilbert, Brock Ginnivan, Peyton Brown, and Noah Brooks. As for this Tigers team, Arkell Smith, Ian O'Malley, Chase Johnson, Alex Martini, and Brett Fullerton dressed up in their white uniforms. Brock Ginnivan currently at the free throw line. He missed the front of his 2 shots. The second attempt does go through. Score 2-1. Carthage leads by a single point early on. Bringing the ball past the timeline, dribbling with his right hand will be O'Malley. O'Malley about 3 feet away from the top of the arc, facing a 1-2-1 zone flash by the Raiders. The Raiders not with much height on this team. Again, Brooks starting tonight over Hayden Pyle following his injury Tuesday against the Labette County Grizzlies. Brock Ginnivan will come up with a rebound following the right corner miss from Chase Johnson. His first three-point opportunity of the night goes awry. Right corner three does fall in transition for Daniel Watts. So Watts is able to etch his name into the scoring book for the first time in this contest. Again, about 3 feet away from the bright orange Tiger logo at midcourt will be O'Malley. He tries to go with the spin move of the lane, but moved his left pivot foot inside of the key. It will be a turnover by the Tigers. This Tigers team enters the contest with a 2-2 record, coached by Steve Ray. Their last matchup against the Joplin Eagles, it was a 48-44 win for Joplin, which dropped this team to 2-2 on the year. Their 2 victories on the year, it was a win against Neosho and West Plains. Both of those wins were by 1 point each, as the Raiders will turn the basketball over on the opposite end of the court. The Tigers offensively will go from right to left on your radio dial, as O'Malley will canter past midcourt as he scans to his right side as he skims the basketball over to Fullerton on the right wing. It will be an interchange between Johnson and at the top of the key Smith, who came curling from the left wing, and it will be an offensive foul committed by the Tigers. It will be on Fullerton, his first. And Fullerton was trying to set an illegal screen on the right elbow to free up some space for some of his comrades. Past midcourt, it will be Wilbert. Jake Wilbert for this club against the Labette County Grizzlies fared very well. And that was a difficult matchup because of Easton Dean, a very powerful 6'7" forward, as it will be Noah Brooks off kilter on his mid-range jump shot, and in transition, Brooks fouls the front court pacing man in O'Malley. So Brooks will pick up his first, team's first as well. O'Malley puts his left hand to his head, starts patting his hair, trying to conduct traffic as Smith will start to fade away, flare to the left wing. Flashing up at the point will be Martini. Martini gives it right back to O'Malley. His right short corner deuce does not go. Brock Ginnivan with the board, and already 4 combined team fouls, 3 for the Tigers early on. That is the second on Fullerton, and this is a Tiger team with minimal height. Their tallest player is Martini on the squad, who comes in at 6'7". He is a legitimate 6'7". But following that, you have Fullerton, and Fullerton checks in at only 6 feet tall, and he's their power forward. So Fullerton now with 2 fouls in the contest. Ginnivan will not be awarded the rebound, as in transition on a pull-up deuce about 18 feet away is Jake Wilbert. A beautiful stop and pop jumper right in the face of O'Malley. O'Malley will push the cadence of the offense. Power dribble inside. It is broken up by Brooks in the post. Martini lost his handle on it, and it's another foul. So 5 combined team fouls, 5:17 remaining in the first quarter of action. That is 2 on Brooks, and this is a Frontenac team that does not have a deep bench, especially since Hayden Pyle is injured. Subbing in will be Blaine Baldwin, so Brock Ginnivan will have to move to that hybrid 5 spot, but he does far better slashing from the perimeter. Inbounding will be O'Malley from the near side baseline, standing on the dark blue Tigers baseline. Currently holding onto the ball is Johnson as he swiftly moves it over to the left wing. O'Malley will reset the offense. He's stepping near the gray paw of the Tiger at midcourt. Back to Johnson, left wing. O'Malley working it around the horn. Recently subbed in Tucker Downing, the junior. Works the ball around the horn and finds the cutting Martini baseline for the left-hand reverse lay-in. 6-4 is the score. Frontenac leads by 2 early on. Baldwin trying to outstretch his right arm and flip the ball over the head of Martini to try to convert a shot, but Martini sends it backwards. Out of bounds, it will remain Frontenac basketball. They will inbound from the far baseline to the right wing where Brown is at, and it's a travel by Brown. He dragged his right foot before dribbling the basketball with his left hand. And so far, sloppy play between both clubs. There has been no consistency to start this contest. Regardless of the start, Frontenac does have the 2-point lead, and Baldwin playing in the middle of now a 2-3 zone shown by the Raiders. Smith flashes up to the left elbow. Hanging back, guarding Smith will be Watts. Ginnivan slides down left corner to try to defend Downing, whose 3-point jump shot is off kilter. Rebound by Johnson following the careening 3-pointer. Losing the ball is Smith as he tries to slash inside the lane. Ball is quickly recovered by Downing. Balls to the left wing. Johnson looks low on the post. Martini uncorks a left block. Deuce does not go. Ginnivan tracks down his second rebound of the night. Ginnivan in transition, forks the ball over to the left wing. In transition will be Wilbur, and I've said transition a lot, but that's the case for the Raiders. They are really pushing the envelope early on, and Jake Wilbur uncorking shots without any sort of hesitation. And the timeout on the floor used by Coach Ray. 9-4 is the score. Frontenac leads by 5. 4:02 remaining in the first frame of action. We will keep it in Carthage, Missouri. Again, last time out for this Raider crew on the road for their second game of the season, second road game of the year. This matchup against the Tigers, the third road game of the year, so not a taste of what it's like to be at home yet, but against the Labette County Grizzlies, it was a 53-42 loss, but it was a valiant contest as Brock Ginnivan tried to keep his team in the game. He was one of the only primary scorers in the contest, as there was a lot of foul trouble for this club. The leading scorer on the team was Jake Wilbur, it was Brock Ginnivan, followed by Jake Wilbur, but Wilbur, 3 fouls in the ball game. Blaine Baldwin off the bench had 4 fouls. Daniel Watts had 6 points, but most of his scoring did not come until late in the fourth quarter of action. And it was a very interesting scenario when Frontenac trailed at halftime, 26-15. They battled back in the third quarter of play and won on a 10-3 run, but Labette answered back with a 10-4 run and really sealed the deal early on in the fourth quarter of action. Following the timeout, O'Malley will ski the basketball over to the right wing, darting it over to the right corner will be Johnson over to Downing. Downing quickly reverses the basketball over and reciprocally over to the left wing into the left corner. It will be a pass from O'Malley to Smith, and Smith airballs his left corner 3. Rebound by Martini, back out to Smith. Smith, power dribble inside the key, right-hand floater goes. So Arkell Smith starts 1-2 in this ball game. And Martini has been very active on the glass thus far. At midcourt right now is Wilbur with the ball cocked above his head before he segues the basketball over to the left wing. Ushering it down to the post will be Baldwin on the left block will be Ginnivan. He wraps around inside and draws the foul against Martini. And Martini already has 2 rebounds in the ball game. Ginnivan at the free throw line tonight. 1-2 from the stripe. 9-6 is the score. The Raiders lead by 3. 3:14 remaining in the first quarter of play. Ginnivan, staggered feet, right foot in front of the left, high arcing free throw, drops to the bottom of the nylon, and he heads right back to the black segmented line. 10-6 is the score. Ginnivan against the Grizzlies shot 2 of 4 from the free throw line as a unit, 11 of 20. The Grizzlies shot 17 of 35 from the stripe as Ginnivan goes 1-2. Offensive rebound by Baldwin, but now he loses his handle on it, and it will be Carthage basketball. 2 points for Ginnivan so far, both from the free throw line. A 4-point lead for the Raiders. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter of action. O'Malley holding on to the rock at midcourt, gets it over to Johnson, about 3 steps away from the top of the horseshoe on the right wing, standing on the Carthage Tigers lettering on the right wing. Martini gets it, high right block, tries to dump it down low to Downing. Downing is mismanaging the basketball, loses it. It was last touched by a Raider, though, which is surprising. I thought Downing had a fingertip on it before it went out of bounds. Inbounding will be O'Malley, standing on the G of the Tigers lettering on the near side baseline. He lobs the ball over the black-cladded Raiders to Johnson at the top of the key. Left wing three-pointer by O'Malley following the inbound is off. Ball is rebounded by Baldwin, who trudges down floor, hangs in the air, and draws a foul against Johnson. And a great move by Baldwin. As soon as he grabbed the rebound, all 6'2" of the junior mushed down the court, generated contact against Arkell Smith, to force Smith's first foul of the ball game, and the 15th foul by the Tigers. Fourth free throw drops for Baldwin. Again, Baldwin experienced foul trouble last time out. He had 4 fouls. And the ball game was 1 of 3 from the stripe for 3 points in the game. Second free throw swirls in and out. 11-6 is the score. Raiders lead by 5. O'Malley thinking about pulling the quick trigger 3 in transition, but instead he tries to pirouette in the lane, but did not plant his right pivot foot and dragged it. So the white Nikes scuffed up, and it will be a substitution for the Tigers as Makis Hundley will check in. So Marcus Huntley will sub in, I beg your pardon. The sophomore guard. The opposite end of the floor, double teamed, will be the recently subbed in Cooper Cleland. He tosses the ball away. Huntley comes away with the steal. And in transition, the ball is chucked out of bounds as it was Huntley who slipped on the floor. Huntley was tackled by the hardwood monster. Still 5-point game, 2:18 remaining in the first quarter of play. 11-6 is the score. Raiders lead it. Wilbur Dribbles from right to left, goes in between his leg, now handling the sphere with his right hand, right elbow. Ginnivan interchanges with Wilbur, who fades away. Right elbow extended, misses the jump shot, rebounded by Huntley. He has a rebound and a steal in this contest, including a turnover, but that was somewhat inadvertent. He really didn't expect it. In transition, Martini looks down low in the post, and it will be an offensive foul. And Martini was trying to gain some separation in the post, and it's a charge call on him. That is 2 on Martini, 2 on Fullerton. So the forward and center for this Carthage team, both in foul trouble early on. O'Malley, who subbed out for Huntley, will now have to enter the contest. And it's a small ball set for the Tigers, which means Brock Ginnivan will most likely post up down low. And as in all conference defensive end in football, he may have an excellent chance of muscling his way inside. 2-3 zone by the Tigers. Left short corner deuced by Wilbur, does not go. On the weak side, it's Cleveland who tries to battle for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds by the Tigers. It will be Frontenac basketball. Inbounding from the A of the Carthage lettering on the far side baseline will be Baldwin. And a substitution on the floor. Watts will sub in for Frontenac. Brown will catch a breather. Baldwin looks. He somehow scorches the basketball over the head of Downey, but Downey does adjust, gets a fingertip on it, and it will go out of bounds. Lands in the blue stadium seating towards the adjacent side of the court to all of the players and their benches. 1:35 remaining in the first frame of action, a 5-point lead for this Frontenac team. No look. Left hip pass from Baldwin to Watts. He looks for Ginnivan. Left elbow back over to Baldwin. He leaves his three-pointer short. Rebounded by Huntley, his second of the ball game. Huntley will slow down the cadence of the offense following the Baldwin miss. So far, the Raiders in this contest, 2 of 3 from downtown. Chucking up a three-pointer, speaking of which, is Huntley. He does not knock it through. After not converting, Brock Ginnivan comes up with his second rebound of the night. Ginnivan. Skip pass over to the right corner. Watts hesitates. He thought about uncorking a three. Instead, he tries to dart a pass inside to Ginnivan, but it's a foul on Smith. That is the 17th foul committed by Carthage with a minute remaining in the first quarter of action. That is now 2 on Arkell Smith, 2 on Martini, and 2 on Fullerton. All 3 are starters. Fullerton looks to be checking back in, so now the assumption has been confirmed that Coach Ray has a very short bench, and he, much like Coach Barcelona, are the recipients of many football players and are trying to help them adjust to the speed of basketball. And that's sometimes difficult to do. Football players have 3 or 4 different kinds of speed. Basketball at times only has 1 or 2, a half-court set and then full speed. Both free, or rather the one-on-one opportunity for Ginnivan is no good. He is now 2 of 5 on the night as O'Malley jittered in transition. As he skittered to the front court, he put the brakes on. He pumps it over to the left wing where Huntley's at. Bounce pass over to Johnson. Left wing, Fullerton 3, up and down. So Fullerton is able to convert his first three-pointer of the night, and the first 3 in the game for the Tigers. They are 1 of 5 from deep. Bounce pass from Brown. Right wing is Watts. Right corner, Baldwin following the pass from Watts. He airballs it. That's his second airball 3 in this contest. He does not have the range right now. O'Malley in transition finds himself in the right corner. He gives it off to Johnson, and then a bump from behind, either by Brown or Watts. Watts is currently brushing his matted hair to the left-hand side and then trying to fluff it up some. And it will be on Peyton Brown, his first, Frontenac's 4th. Inbounding from the left side of the basket on the near sideline will be O'Malley. He looks, left corner, Johnson, 3, does not go down. It goes off the heel of the iron. And now Brown pumps up the ball into the air. Hot potato drill. Brown in transition is able to convert the silky smooth George Gervin lay-in. And that was a gorgeous right-hand finger layup. Johnson pulls up right short corner, and the shot does not go. 13-9 after 1 quarter of action. Frontenac with the early 4-point advantage. This is much like the Grizzly game where this team led by 1 point. Let's see if Frontenac can hang on to that lead heading into the second quarter of play. We'll be right back with your home of Frontenac Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Jocksnitch is your holiday shopping headquarters with brands like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Oakley, and Ray-Bans. What else would anyone want? Don't forget, we have Royals gear and NFL apparel for the entire family at Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Plenty of stocking stuffers from Pitt State to KU to all local area high schools in downtown Pittsburgh and Parsons at Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Stop in today to get all your Christmas shopping done.
You got the sports look of today. Sporting goods from Jocksnitch.
And now, more exciting Raiders basketball action on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
13-9 is the score heading into the second period of play alongside Caleb Wood now with Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studio. I'm Cam Molina. Special shout-out goes to Cheyenne Schaefer, who traveled with us to Carthage, Missouri to help with tonight's action as well. O'Malley has the ball as he crosses the timeline, darts the ball over to the right wing. Standing about 3 steps away from the top of the arc will be Johnson. Bounce pass to Downing in the right corner. I beg your pardon, that is Fullerton in the right corner. He decides to reset the offense. He chugs back to the top of the key and gives it off to the recently subbed in Terrace Jackson. Jackson will now fall back to the right corner, but it's a pull-up left corner jump shot from Johnson. So Johnson notches his first points of the night. The score now 13-11. Foul trouble in the first quarter of play for the Tigers. Three players, I beg your pardon, with 2 fouls each. 2 fouls for Smith, 2 fouls for Martini, 2 fouls for Fullerton. As on the opposite end, the Raiders will have Ginnivan, who tries to snake his way into the lane but kicks it out to Watts. Rebound by Ginnivan, goes right back through the arms of O'Malley. No foul call, but Ginnivan is able to score his first field goal conversion of the night. So Ginnivan now with 4 points in the contest. Johnson trying to increase the cadence of the offense, but instead it will be a slowdown by O'Malley. O'Malley finds Jackson. Skip pass that's broken up by Watts. He's trying to recover over to Jackson, but the 2-3 zone extension works out very well. Johnson picks up his dribble on the left wing. Now he's going to attack left short corner following the pass from O'Malley. He picks up his dribble left block, step through, tries to feed it down low to Fullerton, who falls away on the right block and converts. A tough look for Fullerton. He had to lean his body backward, contort his back, and hip more toward the right side, and then went with a right shoulder push to go through. And it's an official timeout on the floor as Watts is now limping off of the hard wood. And it looks like he's favoring one leg, and for a truncated bench for Coach Barcelona, that is the last thing he wants to see as Baldwin will check in. Brown's on the court as he segues the basketball over to the right wing. A quick sniping fastball to the right elbow where currently Wilbert has it. Wilbert waiting for a ball screen. Instead, he'll take it under his own accord. Pull-up jump shot from the free throw line. Contested, does not go. Good defense by O'Malley, who has made sure to harass him all night. Johnson goes inside the key, tries to go with the right-hand hook, but an excellent read by Cooper Cleland, the junior, with all 6 foot of him coming over and slapping the ball out with his right hand. 6 minutes remaining in the first half of action. Frontenac leads by 2, 15-13. Inbounding from the R of the Tigers lettering on the near side baseline will be O'Malley. Johnson left corner 3. That one goes long, but it's rebounded by Wilbur. His first rebound in this contest. So Johnson so far in this ballgame 0-2 from deep. Ginnivan conducting traffic about 3 steps away from the top of the horseshoe. Dribbles with his right hand, tries to penetrate inside, nearly tosses the basketball away. He actually does. First turnover by Ginnivan. In this Frontenac offense, primarily is fueled by Ginnivan attacking inside the key and then having regularly Pyle or Brooks inside the post to go on the weak side so Ginnivan can dump the basketball off, or the defense has to sink down to defend Ginnivan because of his speed. For being a 6'4 guy and excellent speed, they have to come down and help, and then he can kick it out for a 3-point jump shot. Carthage in their white and blue uniforms will attack inside. Pull up is Fullerton. That's way too long on Fullerton's part. Offensive rebound nearly recovered by Oscar Campa, who subbed in. Fullerton now 2 of 3 in the contest from the field. He has 5 points. Inside, Wilbur left-handed is able to scoop it up and in. So Jake Wilbur now 2 of 5 in the ballgame from inside of the horseshoe. And in transition, Fullerton tries to flip it off the window, but instead he loses his handle on the sphere and it goes out of bounds. A turnover by the Tigers, who are really inconsistent with their pacing. 1 second they'll try to be methodical and slow down, go with a half-court set to space out the 2-3 zone, and then other times rush it. And every time they seem to rush it, there have been mistakes abound. Subbing in for Frontenac for the first time tonight will be Cale Franklin, the 6-foot junior. Inbounding will be Brown near baseline, standing on the R of the Tigers logo. Ginnivan is almost trapped in the left corner before Smith starts the fall back. Fullerton will try to chase Brown away. Gets the ball out of his hand. Baldwin skip past Wilbur. Wide open in the left corner. Up goes the basketball. Unable to schwack it. It will swirl out. Rebound by Jackson. Wilbur nearly comes away with the steal, but he's slow getting back on defense. Johnson will take advantage. Tries to go right into Ginnivan. Right hand floater does not go. Rebounded by Franklin. Good rebound by Franklin to close out overall, and a good contest by Ginnivan to force Johnson to miss his first shot from inside tonight. Wilbur also 1 of 2 from three-point range in this contest. Wilbur, speaking of which, gets it to the left wing. Three-point jump shot off kilter by Brown, but it's rebounded by Baldwin. He loses it, though. Baldwin with the turnover. Smith will slow down the cadence as he has his white Nikes. Goes with a skip pass to Johnson, but he and Johnson were not on the same page. Off by 3 or 4. Hurts on the wavelength, and Johnson had to sprint up to the basketball, which was near the top of the bench, the right side of the bench for Coach Barcelona and the Raiders, but Johnson was all the way in the left corner. Inbounding will be Baldwin. He has Wilbert in the backcourt. He's in the blue key as he's trying to outpace Downing, and it's a foul on the floor. 18th foul committed by Carthage, and it will be Wilbert going to the free throw line, shooting at 1-1. Wilbert last time out went 2 of 2 for the stripe, and again was able to reach the double-digit echelon with 10 points. Wilbur with his first and second attempt tonight from the stripe. Right foot in front of left foot. Actually, excuse me, it's just one attempt for the 1-1. He misses the front. On the break, O'Malley goes into the chest of Baldwin, and O'Malley will head to the free throw line. So Baldwin will pick up his first and the team's fourth. O'Malley, who is a cockeyed hurler, a left-hander, will stagger his feet with his left foot in front, twisted in slightly, pointed toward the student section towards the right, with his back foot about half a pace away from his left foot, and he knocks down his first free throw. O'Malley preparing himself for his second attempt. Readies himself, drops the ball below his knee, and he leaves it short. Ball is rebounded, almost lost by Franklin. Ginnivan gives it off to Franklin, who seems very uncomfortable handling the basketball, so he gives it to Baldwin. Baldwin tries to go with the Euro step, but planted his right foot before he planted his left foot and bumped directly into Downing, who took a hard charge. Second foul in the ball game by Baldwin. That is not what Coach Barcelona wants, as Baldwin will sub out. Watts will come in, and you have the sneaky suspicion that the starters will be ran ragged tonight on both sides. 4 ticks remaining in this first half of action. 17-14 is the score. Raiders lead by 3, an extended 2-1-2 zone shown by Frontenac. O'Malley, a screen set by Jackson in front of him, tries to uncork an NBA range 3, does not go. Rebounded by Ginnivan. That's his 4th rebound of the night. Escorts a pass over to the right wing. Watt unbuckles a trifecta. That one's no good. Rebound by Smith. Smith, Euro step, right hand floater. No. Offensive rebound, tosses it up. That one is also no good. But he is fouled in the process. So that would put Smith at the free throw line, and he's looking towards Coach Ray, who is providing instructions, and instead it will be an inbound. Johnson will inbound from the G of the Tigers lettering on the near side baseline. He's able to catapult the ball over the head of the Raiders defense. Smith gives it right back to Johnson, left wing, left corner, Jackson. He hoists the basketball up, an air ball, and a unique mechanics for Jackson. He dipped the ball below his hip and then shot upwards. If you think more of Alonzo Ball in the NBA, a rookie, that's kind of what his shot is like. His elbow was flaring. He dips on his shot. Skip pass from Brown over to the Watts as he quickly and swiftly moves the basketball to the right corner. With celerity, dribbling the basketball is Wilbert. Right back over to Watts. And now conducting traffic will be Brown, telling Watts to cover to the left wing. 2-3 zone by the Tigers. No one is at the high post. Ginnivan is still looking around the right short corner. Ginnivan is able to track down the offensive board. Shows the up fake on Fullerton. Spins back inside. Right hand finish. Ginnivan so methodical down low. Almost a machine the way he reads the defense and then chooses the most optimal offensive play. And his toolbox of low post skill varies. Jackson swiftly moves the basketball into the left corner. Pass back to the top of the key where Smith is at before a pitch back over to the right corner where Jackson has the rock. He has Fullerton, right corner 3, never jumped on his jump shot. Ginnivan is able to gobble up the rebound. Ginnivan now stampeding in transition. He has Franklin who shoots the ball over to the top of the key where Wilbur has it. A lazy, lethargic throw back to Ginnivan on the left wing, right back to Wilbur, trying to expand what is now a 1-2-2 zone. More like a box and whisker, but there's no man. Right wing, Watts, skip pass to Brown. 2 minutes to go in the first half and a 5-point lead for the Raiders. Watts forked the basketball over from his torso to the torso of Brown. Jackson comes out to greet Brown. Left corner, up fake by Ginnivan. Crossover left to right. Easy move for Ginnivan, and the hezzy came into play in that situation. For a guy who's 6'4" and has guard-like speed, his handles are almost unfair. Transition to left corner 3 for Downing, does not drop. And there is a foul on the play. It was a rebound on the backside by Franklin, and it's a foul committed by Wilbert. It is Wilbert's first and the team's 6th. O'Malley will inbound. Subbing in will be Cleland. Franklin will sub out, so Cleland and Franklin already getting early minutes. Downing will cut right through the middle of the key, clap his hands. O'Malley finds the cutting Downing for the lane, and then that's just a lapse of mentality by the Raiders. 21-16 is the score. Left corner 3, Watts, yes! And he falls down 2. A bit of the histrionics after the shot, and O'Malley will lose the basketball. It's a travel. So following the Watts 3, he is now 2 of 4 from downtown. 24-16 is the score. And a timeout on the floor used by the Raiders, 24-16 is the score, an 8-point lead for the Raiders. 1:25 remaining in the first half. We will step aside for 30 seconds to bring you back more action from your home of Raider Athletics, Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Wilbert currently with the ball handling duties as he finds Ginnivan. Ginnivan will quickly move the basketball over into the left corner to Watts, and the ball's moved right back to the crown of the arc where Brown has it, but he gives it up to Cleland, who then in turn stuffs it into the belly of Wilbur, who skips it over to Watts on the left wing. 1 minute remaining in the first half of action. The Raiders lead by 8, 24-16. A bounce pass by Brown through traffic where 3 Tigers were clouding the left elbow, bouncing off the foot of one of the Tigers. And it will remain Frontenac basketball. 58 ticks remaining. The Raiders winning this quarter and scoring 11-7. Brown with the ball above his head launches it deep in the backcourt, standing nearly on the gray claws of the Tigers logo at midcourt will be Ginnivan as he moves the basketball over right wing extended. At the top of the key is Watts, and as he's at the apex of the horseshoe, he gets it over to Cleland. Cleland picks up his dribble. Johnson comes out with his hand straight up to harass him. 43 ticks remaining in this first half. Ginnivan not using his dribble yet, now asking for a high ball screen. No one comes up. Left short corner is Brown. He leaves the jump shot short. Rebound by Smith. Smith's 3rd rebound of the night. He's wasting no time as he finds Johnson. Lethargic, elongated crossover from left to right, but that forces Ginnivan to come up and challenge. He wanted to go for the swipe initially, and then he bumped into Johnson, and that's a foul. The 7th team foul committed by Frontenac, and that will put Johnson at the line, shooting a no 2 shots, or excuse me, no 1-and-1. It will be 2 shots. I did not think Johnson was in the process of shooting, but supposedly he was. His first opportunity does go through, and the smooth shooting Johnson is now 1-1 on the night. First foul on Ginnivan tonight. Johnson's 2nd. Kisses off the lip of the iron, off the heel, and it's rebounded by Wilbur. 2nd rebound on the night by Wilbur. Rebounding battle in favor of the Raiders. They are +6 on the boards. Wilbur has the ball holstered behind his neck. Now he'll go and attack Johnson. Right-hand scoop shot goes through, and Jake Wilbur, how aggressive and assertive is he, showing that alpha male role for this Raiders team. Martini, left block, goes up, and no shot. Foul on the floor. 18th foul committed by the Raiders, and it seems to be on Watts. It is his first. That is the team's 8th. And you have to commend the Tigers after 7 first quarter fouls. They've really shaped up in the discipline department and have only committed 1 foul in this second quarter of play. 4.6 seconds left, 9-point contest, Raiders lead. And Martini will have a 1-and-1 opportunity. The long gangly arms do not stop him from knocking down the first shot. The emaciated-looking Martini with his second opportunity. Good. He goes 2 of 2 from the stripe. He now has 4 points. 26-19 is the score. A 7-point lead for the Raiders. 4.6 seconds left in the half. Make sure to stick around for the halftime report. We will go over first half stats and insight to the second half of action. Wilbur crosses the timeline. 1 second left. Pull up. Free throw line off the window, and it's too strong to the right of the orange. So after 1 half of action, the Frontenac Raiders lead it 26-19, but a late surge by the Tigers could be a cause for concern for Coach Barcelona. We have a very competitive matchup in Carthage, Missouri. It is an out-of-state matchup between the Kansas school and the Frontenac Raiders, and the Missouri school and the Carthage Tigers. We will bring you back the halftime festivities after a 2-minute commercial break. You're listening to the home of Frontenac Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Pains Incorporated in Frontenac is...
Hey folks, it's Josh from QSI. Are you looking to have a new garage, hobby shop, ag, or equestrian structure built? Call QSI. You get a fully engineered building with a 60-year column and a 40-year metal warranty. QSI buildings are rated for 115-mile-an-hour wind gusts and are built tough to exceed most building codes. Choose the best, choose QSI, and call us today at 800-374-6988 or log on to qualitystructures.com now for more information.
Talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
The human eye blinks about 17,000 times a day, but here's a real eye-opener. Dry eyes can cause irritation, red eyes, and blurred vision. Don't assume your blurry vision means you need new glasses or contacts. The doctors at Canar Eye Care are experienced in diagnosing and treating dry eyes with the newest treatments available. So schedule your eye exam in Pittsburgh or Girard with Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
It was a fun first half of action, but now the halftime festivities feature the Carthage Spirit Squad currently displaying Pajama Day, all in synchronization, dancing and kicking up their legs, but no one snoozing inside the Carthage Gymnasium. And at intermission, the Raiders lead by 7 points, 26-19, in what has been a heated Kansas-Missouri rivalry. Alongside Caleb Whitnell with Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studios, I'm Cam Molina. Well, as I mentioned before, it was an electrifying first half of action, a back-and-forth affair that really featured the Raiders taking the reins of this contest midway through the first quarter of action and then sticking it to the Tigers throughout most of the second quarter of play, prior to the Tigers mounting a comeback and parrying with several transition buckets of their own. Let's go over the first half stats. We'll begin with the Tigers. 2 rebounds for Marcus Huntley, the sophomore guard, including a steal and a turnover. Arkell Smith in foul trouble. He had 2 in the first half of play, sat out a majority of the first quarter, but made his impact felt in the second frame of action. 2 points, 3 rebounds. Now, the stats may be a bit deceiving, but Smith did a fantastic job rebounding the basketball, considering Alex Martini and Brett Fullerton, the 5 and 4 respectively on this Tigers team, also had foul issues. Each had 2 fouls after the first half of play. 3 points for Ian O'Malley, as he really was the composed force on the court for this Tigers team, was the quote-unquote quarterback as he executed plays very well, was decisive with his decision-making and facilitated the ball in an excellent fashion. 3 points at the end of the first half of play, 2 points for Tucker Downing and 1-on-1 shooting from the field. And then for Chase Johnson, 3 points and a rebound, 4 points for Alex Martini, 2 rebounds. And I honestly earnestly think that if Martini had remained in the ball game throughout most of that first half of play, this would be a completely different story. The script would be different in favor of the Tigers as Martini dominated in the post. There was really no anchor down low for the Raiders as Hayden Pyle ended up injuring himself last game against the Grizzlies. And then Noah Brooks in foul trouble for the Raiders, the 6'6 junior. But Martini, 4 points, 2 rebounds in limited minutes and 2 fouls. Brett Fullerton also 2 fouls, but 5 points to his name, 1-on-1 from downtown. The real difference in this contest has been the shooting from the field, more specifically behind the arc. The Tigers 1 of 7 from deep, the Raiders 3 of 8. So already there is a 6-point favor for this Raiders team. In addition, the Raiders are +6 off the glass, 14-8. Most of the rebounds have come from Cale Franklin, who has 4 in this ball game, and then Brock Ginnivan has 4 rebounds, 8 points as well for the Raiders. He shot 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 3 of 3 from the field. Peyton Brown, 1-of-1 from inside the arc for 2 points. The leading scorer in the contest is Jake Wilbur. He has 9 points, including 2 rebounds, and it's his sense of urgency and his ability to increase the cadence of the offense that is really head-turning and jaw-dropping. Just the ability for him to scan the floor and see, hey, I have an alley here, I have an avenue over here I can attack. It's really picturesque, and it's poetry in motion watching him choosing where he wants to come through the defense next. 6 points for Daniel Watty. He was 2 of 4 from downtown, and then Blaine Baldwin, 1.2 rebounds. He was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe, 0 of 2 from downtown. And one factor that could be favoring the Tigers in this contest, free throw shooting, albeit it's just by 1 point. 4 out of 6 free throws converted compared to the 3 of 8 for the Raiders. And the Raiders had this exact same issue against the Grizzlies, where they went 11 of 20. So I'm sure Coach Barcelona will not put an emphasis on this in the locker room. Currently, there are more pressing matters, but I can assure you, during practice this upcoming week, that will be the focus. So, at intermission, 26-19 to score. The Raiders lead by 7 points. We will step aside, take another 2-minute commercial break, and come back with the keys for the second half of action. You're listening to the home of Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hey folks, it's Josh from QSI. Are you looking to have a new garage, hobby shop, ag, or equestrian structure built? Call QSI. You get a fully engineered building with a 60-year column and a 40-year metal warranty. QSI buildings are rated for 115-mile-an-hour wind gusts and are built tough to exceed most building codes. Choose the best, choose QSI, and call us today at 800-374-6988 or log on to qualitystructures.com now for more information.
Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
We are near the bottom of the hour here on KWXD 103.5, Radio X The Evolution, alongside Caleb Wood now with Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studios. I'm Cam Molina. About 2 minutes remaining before the inbounds pass to begin the third quarter of play, and the Raiders lead by 7, 26-19 over the hometown Carthage Tigers. Let's go with some insight into this matchup, what needs to happen for either team to win. Let's begin with the hometown team, the white and blue cladded Carthage Tigers. It comes down to staying out of foul trouble, as simple as that. Alex Martini, the sophomore forward who checks in at about 6'6", 6'7", can really turn this game around. I honestly feel that if Noah Brooks continues to foul in this ball game, with Martini being the opposing player that Brooks has to guard, I think those fouls can pile up. Brooks, albeit a good player down low, did have some fouling tendencies against the Grizzlies. He was really counted on once Pyle exited the game, but he fouled out of the contest midway through the fourth quarter. So if you keep attacking Brooks in that interior, sooner or later, you're going to have Martini in favorable situations to score. And Brock Ginnivan, as good of a leader as he is, as smart of a player as he is, you cannot teach 6'7" height and a right-hand hook shot that can go in almost seamlessly. As for this Frontenac team, keep extending the floor in transition. Don't look at the fact that you're 3 of 8. Look at the fact that you made 3 three-pointers already, 2 from Daniel Watts, 1 from Jake Wilbur. If you continue to push the ball in transition, space out this zone on the break and not allow the 2-3 zone for the Tigers to get set up, you can really exploit and take advantage of this defense. And also talking about Jake Wilbur, 9 first-half points, doing an excellent job of shredding the defense in the interior. So make sure, if you are Wilbur, to keep that same demeanor, that mentality. Continue to attack. Keep the foot on the pedal. And ultimately, for this Raiders team, if you want to win, put your foot on the neck of the Tigers. Close out this contest. Brown to inbound, number 23, with the white numerals in lettering, will find Wilbur. Wilbur already barking out play, standing on the orange Tiger logo at mid-court. Right short corner 2 from Brock Ginnivan. Challenged by Martini. Ginnivan unable to convert. That's his first miss of the night from the field. Transition pass. Fullerton has the ball ripped out from behind by Watts, and Watts had an ankle injury, or it appeared that way, midway through the second quarter of play, so it's very beneficial for him to come back out onto the court for Coach Barcelona. Inbounding will be O'Malley. He finds Martini. Right hand does not go. Brooks unable to come up with the board, but subsequently it lands in the hand of Ginnivan, his 5th rebound. Ginnivan loses his handle on the rock, and a foul is called. So I guess the foul was prior to the ball being dislodged. So it's a charge now. The call is reversed, so it will be Ginnivan's second and the team's first of this second half. Inbounding will be Arkell Smith. He has 2 personal fouls on him. 26-19 to score. Frontenac up 7 points, and the student section on this Friday night have shown up with their Stetson hats, so that's pretty cool to see. Some boots as well, as they're trying to till the fields against this very tough Frontenac team. Skip pass, O'Malley, right corner, easily read by Wilbur, pops up into the air, but Smith using his athleticism and rangy, lanky arms to come down with the 50-50 ball. O'Malley, left portion of the key, finds Martini, a very seasoned, wily move, power dribble, left-hand floater, however, it does not go. Rebound is by Brooks. Wilbur puts his right shoulder down, has some separation, looks towards Watts. Watts is wide open, straight away, trifecta. Does not go. Rebound by Martini, and Coach Barcelona wants an over-the-back call. And rightfully so. Martini finds O'Malley, right-hand floater. The teardrop does not go. Rebound by Ginnivan, who's been very active on the glass tonight. Interchanging the sphere will be Ginnivan to Wilbert. Wilbert bounce pass to the right wing, about 3 steps away from the top of the horseshoe will be Watts as he tries to bounce it over to Ginnivan. Ginnivan tied up with Fullerton, who hits the deck, as well as Martini. It will be jump ball, possession arrow, Carthage. 26-19 is the score. A minute and a half into this third quarter of play, no scoring. Only 1 foul. That was committed by Ginnivan. Segmented pass over from the top of the key to the right wing with Fullerton. O'Malley has the sphere, dribbling it, oscillating it with his right hand. Smith into the right corner as he sinks into the right corner. He quickly flashes out. He'll flare to the left wing. O'Malley scorches a pass over the left corner. Fullerton, 3, nails it. So Brett Fullerton 2-2 from downtown to end a stalemate to begin this third quarter of play. 26-22 is the score. 6 minutes left in the third quarter of play. Wilbur crosses the timeline as he enters the Tigers' domain. He dribbles with the right hand. Hard crossover from right to left. Smith comes out to hedge. Ginnivan about 4 steps away from the peak of the arc. Asking for Wilbert to come back to the basketball. He regains his dribble. Goes with the triple threat. Crosses over right to left. Has Johnson on his right hip but loses the basketball. Fullerton in transition. Brown is able to slap it away, but a foul is called. Brown had to commit that foul. Fullerton would have had an easy go on the layup. Make Fullerton earn his points. So that is 4 Raiders who have 2 fouls. 2 on Baldwin, 2 on Ginnivan, 2 on Brown, and 2 on Brooks. Fullerton's first free throw, the front of his 2, does not fall. This will be his first trip to the free throw line tonight. Fullerton resets himself with his blue shoes with crisscrossing white patterns near the laces. Second attempt does go. He now has 9 points in the contest as Huntley will sub in. And Huntley only about 3 minutes in that first half of play as it was a dogfight in the first frame of action. Carthage now trailing 26-23 in 4 consecutive points for the Tigers. Pressure in the backcourt. Wilbur has it. He's double-teamed between Johnson and Fullerton and a foul. I think Johnson was a bit overzealous, and he was. It will be a side out for Brown. His back facing all of the blue bleachers. Brown looks, baseball pass over the top, a beautiful feed to Wilbert. Wilbert tries to go with the windmill-like lay-in, and as he went with the cyclic layup, he misses in transition. Smith, no look, Fullerton, left corner, nearly a travel. Ginnivan comes to close out, but good defense in transition by Smith to force the hesitancy by Wilbert. Wilbert now 3 of 7 in this contest. After a miss on the opposite end by the Tigers, Wilbert will have the spear. He exchanges the basketball over to the left wing. Ginnivan hesitates as he stutters with his feet, dribbling at the ball in his left hand. After escorting the ball to the top of the key, Watts, Brooks has it on the right wing and a foul on the floor. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter and a 3-point lead for Frontenac. 4 points scored by Carthage in this third quarter of play, about 3 minutes, 3 seconds in. Brown inbounds from the near side baseline. He's looking for Ginnivan. He does not find Ginnivan as Smith is able to intercept the basketball, but instead he tips it up in the air. Watts had it, tried to go with a fancy pass underneath the Brooks. Smith, no-look bounce pass. Huntley finishes with the inside hand. That's Huntley's first points of the matchup, and Smith in the open court is dangerous. 2 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist for Smith down at a timeout used by Coach Barcelona. A 6-0 run to begin this third quarter of play for the Tigers. 26-25 the score. Raiders lead by 1. We will step aside for 30 seconds to bring you back more Raiders action.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
If Tuesday was any indication, this Raider team seems to have this very awkward, obscure struggle in the third quarter of play, and that is the case tonight against this Carthage Tigers club. 6-0 run for the Tigers over the last minute 30. 1 point lead for Frontenac still, 26-25. Heading into break, it was 26-19. Wilbur will have the ball in the front court as he's already orchestrating traffic. An extended 2-3 zone flashed by the Tigers. Weak side asking for the basketball is Brooks. Looking him off is Brown. Pressure towards midcourt. Brown finds Ginnivan, but the ball's poked up in the air by Smith, recovered by Brooks. Watts steps in, left elbow deuce, drops. And Watts with the composure to face Smith. And then once Smith flared off of him, Witt stepped in and shot. And then Brooks with an emphatic block on Smith, who came barreling inside. Brooks read it perfectly. What a sensational block by the 6'6 junior defending the paint. 3-point lead for Frontenac, 28-25, 4:10 remaining in the third quarter. Huntley, left wing, contested 3, does not go off the lip of the iron as it smooches the orange. It's a rebound by Ginnivan as he's nearing a double-double tonight, 8.7 rebounds. Ginnivan, after receiving the feed from Wilbert on the break. Has it, right corner, hesitation, tries to go and attack baseline. Trying to set his feet along the baseline was Fullerton, but he picks up his third. Third team foul by Carthage tonight. In this third quarter of play, to be exact. Ginnivan set to inbound. He looks left to Wilbert. Then bounce passes it to Brooks. Martini dives where it breaks it up. Good steal by Martini. Now the ball's poked up from behind by Wilbert. Ball still loose. Wilbert trying to come up with it. He has a lane, but will slow down the cadence of the offense. He's able to snake away from traffic. What an excellent steal by Wilbert. And that mentality still, that attacking mentality is displayed as Wilbert finds Brown. The right-handed baseline floater goes. What excellent teamwork, and the camaraderie from this team is now being displayed tonight. An exhibition for Frontenac now as they broke the 6-0 run from the Tigers, scoring 4 points in response and a 5-point lead for the Raiders, 30-25. Right corner three, Hundley well out of his range. He is now 0-2 from deep. Ginnivan uses his left arm, shrugs off Smith, and that is a charge foul, no doubt. Excellent call by the officials, and nowadays you will hear many players angered by the fact that when that elbow is extended, when that forearm is extended to generate space and there's no call, it makes players fume. You just have to be able to call it if you're an official, and a good read on the part of the referees tonight. Right corner, currently trying to go with the shake and bake against the taller Brooks is O'Malley. Johnson, after a down screen is set, curls to the top of the key. Speaking of hooking to the top of the key, it's O'Malley who stands on the green eyes, the Rederas, of this Tigers logo at midcourt. O'Malley straightaway three is unable to convert. Rebound by Wilbur, who brings it past the timeline. Wilbur has it right back from Brown. Brown holsters the ball on his left hip. Triple threat, pull up, left elbow, deuce, and Wilbur, no hesitation on the deuce, as he's unable to unsheath the jump shot. He now has 11 points. Transition, right wing three, no. Smith with the offensive board goes up through the thicket of Raiders' hands and draws the foul. Smith active on the glass, much like Ginnivan. He has 4 rebounds. That is the second foul on Watts. It would have been devastating for Coach Barcelona if that was the third on Brooks. Beneficial for Coach Stephen Ray and this 2-2 Tigers club. The Raiders looking for their first win on the season. They are 0-2. Lost to their CNC rival in the Colgan Panthers week 1 in a regular season matchup prior to conference play, and then went out and took on the Grizzlies on the road, but faltered in that contest by a double-digit margin, 53-42. Smith knocks down the front of his 2 shots. The second offering is good. Smith, 2-2 from the stripe. He has 4 points in this contest, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Brown will inbound in the backcourt. Wilbert trying to clear out all the white and black jerseys. Ginnivan has it awaiting the half-court trap. Bounce past Brown, spins around O'Malley, who was lost. Left corner, trying to save it was Cleland, and it was stolen away by Jackson. Transition, Johnson gathers, right-hand lay-in good, and an easy leak-out lay-in for Johnson, as he is 2 of 3 from inside the horseshoe in the full court press, starting to give Frontenac fits. Only a 3-point contest, 32-29, Frontenac leads. Brown has Ginnivan double team as Jackson and Smith are right there. Tosses the ball up and it's stolen away. O'Malley, ball poked up from behind by Wilbur. He is able to covet the basketball, but then loses it off of his fingertips. A no timeout is used by Coach Barcelona, and Coach Ray absolutely vehementing on the sideline. It was either one because of the complacency by O'Malley in transition, and the fact that nobody got back to help O'Malley, or two because the timeout was used, and Ray is really laying into his players. $1:45 remaining in the third. 32-29 the score. Frontenac leads by 3. We'll keep it here in Carthage, Missouri, as we are outside of Kansas. Alongside Caleb with Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studio. I'm Cam Molina. A quick recap. After one frame of action, it was the Raiders leading by 4, 13-9 at halftime, 26-19. Brock Ginnivan as well as Jake Wilbur have combined for a total of 19 points. Wilbur with 11, 8 for Ginnivan, 10 combined rebounds, and the rebounds favoring the Raiders tonight. The second chance opportunities have really played a factor, +7 on the glass for the Raiders. Ginnivan, a reverse bounce pass to Wilbur. He's trying to clear out the backcourt. A deluge of Tigers in the backcourt as Campo just subbed in for Carthage as he's against Ginnivan. That could be a potential matchup on the outside if Ginnivan decides to go with a 5-out set. Actually, Brooks will go to the right elbow. Ginnivan with the ball handling duties, trying to optimize the offense by dumping it off to the left corner, and Wilbur draws the contact. and in a cerebral fashion hoists up the basketball to try to draw in the process of shooting foul, but instead it's on the floor. 14th foul committed by Carthage in the second half, third on Johnson. Near side inbound by Baldwin. Lobs it over O'Malley, said, and it's coveted. Holster to the right hip by Wilbur. Dribbles with his right hand, crosses over to the left, spin move. Smith comes over, excellent read on the steal. He has a fast break, going through the key. Right hand, draws the foul, almost gets the and one. I think Smith had enough bounce for the flush, but he felt the footsteps, heard the footsteps coming up from behind him by Baldwin, as well as Wilbur. But an excellent read by Smith, a jack of all trades for this Carthage team. 4 points, 4 rebounds, and assists, 2 steals. Smith 2 of 2 from the stripe, 7 of 10 in total for this Carthage team. Smith sinks his first, and Smith, pretty free throw form. My goodness. A marquee free throw shooter. Fullerton subs back in. Campo's also on the floor for the Tigers. Smith, in addition to Jackson and O'Malley. Smith sets himself. Second free throw. Goes 1 of 2 from the stripe, 3 of 4 in the contest, and a rebound by Brooks, his second on the night. His impact has not been placed into the scoring book much tonight. Ginnivan pressured in the backcourt, lobs up the throw. Brooks somehow is right there for the recovery, and he bounces it back to Ginnivan. And again, this full court press frustrating this Raider team. Ginnivan picks up his dribble just inside of the horseshoe. He finds Brown left wing. Back to the top of the key, about 3 steps away on the leg of the Tiger logo. Ginnivan has the ball poked loose. Jackson behind the back move, dribbling. Left arm goes up, blocked on the backboard by Baldwin, but a foul is called. And that will be 3 on Baldwin. Sixth team foul by the Raiders. And that puts Jackson on the free throw line for the first time tonight. Sophomore guard with nothing in the stat book so far except 0 of 1 from deep, and his first free throw is good. 39 ticks remaining in the third quarter, 32-31 at the score. Carthage with a chance to tie it up right here. Jackson unable to do so as he goes 1 of 2 from the line. Pressure shown. Baldwin chucks it away, but Smith bumps into Jackson. Smith comes up with it again. Smith through the middle of the key. Right hand scoop shot goes, and the Carthage Tigers regain the lead. Arkel Smith, an X factor in this ball game. Baldwin pressure in the backcourt. Full court press, still providing quite a bit of an obstacle for this Raider team. 16 seconds left. Ginnivan needs to get it past midcourt, and a kick by Smith. 13.5 seconds left in the third. Carthage leads 33-32 after trailing at halftime by 7. It's been a 14-6 scoring effort for Carthage in this third quarter. 12 seconds left. Ginnivan, right arm slinging past to Brown. Left wing, left corner, Cleveland with it. Skips it back to the top of the key after pitching it to Ginnivan. He'll dribble with his right hand. 2 seconds left. Baseline. Baldwin goes up. Right-handed. Doesn't count, though. It does count. Baldwin is able to score before the buzzer sounds, and Frontenac will take the lead heading into the fourth quarter of play, and Baldwin, with the waning seconds of the third, is able to put the Raiders up 34-33. We will step aside for 30 seconds and bring you back the climatic fourth quarter of action from Carthage, Missouri, here on your headquarters for Frontenac Athletics. Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers in town or cross country. Larry Barrett has emergency wrecker service for all accidents, 24-hour towing. Been in an accident? Then call the pros. They have quality auto body repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to barrettbodyframe.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace, or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
We'll give credit to Coach Stephen Ray for the Carthage Tigers, a 2-2 club, trailed by 7 at halftime. Started off the third quarter on a 6-0 run. Frontenac battled back, extended their lead up by 5 in the full court press. issued by this Tigers team, absolutely driving this Raiders team insane. It's a 1-point lead for the Raiders as Baldwin was able to score a lay-in right before the buzzer sound, 34-33. And 2-3 zone extended by this Tigers team still. They are defending all avenues of offense between the third quarter and up until now. Brown, skip pass over to the left corner. With it is Wilbur. Wilbur brings the ball below his waist. Now he undulates the ball with his right hand, and it's a underhanded pass, almost like a skee ball looking toss over to Watts. Ginnivan, left elbow, finds Wilbur. His left wing three does not go. Wilbur 1 at 3 from downtown in this contest, and the three-point shooting, which was so savvy for this team in the third quarter, has not paid dividends. Or excuse me, in the first half has not paid dividends in this second half of play. And in transition, Smith is able to draw the foul against Ginnivan. That is 4 on Ginnivan. So the next course of action for Coach Ray is getting Ginnivan out of the game. I guarantee you that. It's just a matter of, do we try to run something through Smith, maybe force a mismatch and use Smith's speed to blow by Ginnivan, and maybe Ginnivan makes a mistake on his part, or do we size him up with Martini and then force the foul by strong-arming him down low? 7:14 remaining in the contest, 34-33 the score, and Smith's free throw saucers out. Brooks will come in and Ginnivan will go to the bench, so Coach Barcelona will probably keep Ginnivan in his back pocket until, I would imagine, 3 minutes remaining in this contest. Smith with a chance to tie here. That means the other seniors on the floor, and Watson Wilbert has an 0 of 2 showing by Smith, resulted in an out-of-bounds grab by O'Malley of the basketball. It will be Frontenac Rock. Inbounding will be Brown to the left side of the basketball goal, which hangs high due to some piping and some wiring here in Carthage Gymnasium. Wilbur picks up his dribble midcourt. Full court press is shown by Carthage still. Brooks bounce pass left corner. Brown nails it. No hesitation from Peyton Brown as he converts his first three-pointer of the night. 4 of 11 from deep are the Raiders. O'Malley thought about a transition three, but instead finds Martini. He had deep position. He kicks it out to O'Malley, who was unable to rattle home a trifecta. O'Malley now 0-2 from downtown, and then rebound by Baldwin. Baldwin loses the rock. It goes out of bounds. Good defense by Martini. It will be Carthage basketball. (37-33) the score following the Brown three. 4-point lead for the Raiders. Johnson flares up from the left block to the top of the key. Johnson bounce past to Smith. He brings the ball over his head, swims through, pull-up J. About a 5-foot jump shot goes. And Arkell Smith has been instrumental in the Tigers' success tonight. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and assists, 2 steals. Ball stolen again by Arkell Smith as he tiptoes along the sideline towards the Frontenac offensive side of the court. Ball swiftly moved over to the right corner, executing a quick pass over to the top of the key will be Fullerton over to O'Malley. Back to Johnson. Smith flashes up over to Johnson again. His three-pointer sinks. Johnson knocks down his first outskirt shot of the ball game, and that will give Carthage a 38-37 lead. Pass fake by Wilbur. Watts sets his feet. Three. Good. Daniel Watts, much like Brown, does not hesitate when there is an open three given to him. 2-1-2 zone still by the Raiders as there is a lack of size. Left corner, Fullerton cannot answer back. Martini could not track down the rebound. Fullerton 2 of 3 from downtown. He is one of 2 Tigers to hit a three-pointer, the other being Chase Johnson just moments ago. The Tigers 3 of 14 from downtown, 5 of 12 for the Raiders as Brown will inbound on the A of the Carthage lettering on the near baseline. Inbounding will be Brown. Fullerton subs out. Brown has a cross screen set between Wilbert and Watts. Brown gets it back from Ginnivan, who just checked in. So a quick recap. Wilbert, Ginnivan, Brooks, Watts, and Brown on the floor for the Raiders. Wilbert has Downing on his heels. Wilbert attacks, scoops it up left-handed, and it is a foul on the floor. That is the 5th team foul committed by Carthage. Second on Downing. Brown will inbound. Cross screen set by Brooks and Ginnivan to free something up down low. Instead, Watts steps in to a pass from Brown. Ball broken up by Smith. 4 steals tonight. And the turnovers are starting to mount up for this Frontenac team. Ginnivan in transition does not draw a foul, but Brooks grabs the rebound afterwards, and there is a whistle blown. It will go against the Tigers, so that's the 6th team foul committed by Carthage, and it's on Martini, his 3rd. Brown to inbound. Brown looking to quickly get the basketball in. He does. Nearly a 5-second call as Wilbur dumps off the pass in transition, and the trebuchet-like look has the ball to the hands of Brown. Brooks swings it over to Watts. Brooks cuts, misses his shot, point-blank range. And Brooks has struggled tonight. He's 0-2 from the field, 2 rebounds, and that is all he has to his name. Under 5 to go in the contest, 40-38 the score. Carthage trailing by 2. Smith with the rock, dribbling with his left hand, pounding the ball to the hardwood. With his right hand will be Johnson. That's his non-dominant hand. He's a lefty. Right corner is O'Malley. O'Malley jump step in the lane, and a foul is called on Brooks as he tried to swat the pass away. He made contact with the inside right hand of O'Malley as he tried to worm his way to the hole. Brooks 3rd, and the team's 8th. O'Malley drops the ball below his knee. Free throw goes. O'Malley now 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He's set to attempt his 4th shot of the night from the stripe. O'Malley converts 3 of 4 from the line, and we are tied again at 40. Jackson subs in. O'Malley subs out. O'Malley with 5 points in the ballgame. Brown looking to pass the ball in. It is a bounce pass to Wilbur as Wilbur scans the floor as he prospects. A double team comes between Downing and Johnson. Ginnivan, a one-hopper over to the left wing where Brown is at. Right back to the neck level of Ginnivan. Following the pass from Brown, Ginnivan has the ball below his knees. He has Smith on his hip, drives inside, tosses it up, and it's a charge. So that means Ginnivan fouls out. Coach Barcelona absolutely livid on the court in the face of the official, and he has a right to be as furious as he is. There was no set down low on the post by Downing, who had his feet still shuffling to come defend. So Ginnivan is done for the night. And that is met with nothing but displeasure from all Raiders fans that have traveled the 40-minute trek to Carthage, Missouri. Wow. Downing was still shuffling his feet, coming to defend on the left block. And Ginnivan was called for the charge. Coach Barcelona, after having his little spat, trying to get his team back into the game. Baldwin will come in. Keep in mind that is also the 19th foul by the Raiders. One more, and the Tigers will be in the double bonus. Interchange as Jackson will set a high ball screen. Smith with the rock. He brings it behind his head, and it'll put the ball right into the belly of Johnson as he tries to orchestrate traffic. Jackson with the ball. He loses his footing, and diving forward is Wilbur. He comes up with it. Watts leaking out on the break. Smith coming over to challenge. Watts trying to draw the contact. He does, but it's a block by Smith. No foul call. Johnson has numbers, 3-on-2, but too late. Johnson hop step, loses his hand on the basketball, and then Downing inside, traveling with the rock. Downing pops up, and I think that's a make-up call after the travel, and I know that sounds somewhat cynical of me to say, but Downing with 1-2, 2 steps to the rack. There was no travel there, in my opinion. 40-40 is the score. It's a tie ball game, 3:30 left in the contest. Baldwin high ball screen set. Wilbur gets it to Brown. Left corner 3. Short. Rebound by Brooks. He fights through the arms, and a foul on the floor. 17th foul committed by Carthage. So now the head official will say it's in the process of shooting, and it's been changed to a 1-and-1. So a lot of discrepancies between the head official and then the side judge, and then a conference result in a 1-and-1. So Brooks will head to the free throw line to shoot potentially just one shot. First free throw takes a skip off the lip of the iron, smooches the window, and then drops through, gracing the nylon with the leather presence. Brooks, second attempt is good. He goes 2 of 2. Those are clutch free throws. He has 2 points, 3 rebounds in this contest. The Raiders 5 of 10 from the stripe. Johnson dribbles with his right hand. He lifts the ball up into the air, and it goes chin level to Downing, who looks in the post. Martini, power dribble, fall away shot is off kilter, rebounded by Wilbur, and a good track down rebound by Wilbur, who moves in transition, kicks it out right corner, but there's a foul on the floor. And Martini shying away from contact. He had Brooks deep in the post, took a power dribble inside, and then with his dominant right hand tried to fall away. It's almost a leaner. If any of you have ever watched Paul Pierce, a retired NBA Hall of Famer, soon-to-be Hall of Famer, his most patented move was the lean shot, as he would gain some separation just by falling back on one foot and shooting. That's kind of what Martini did. Wilbert's lone free throw is no good, and it's a foul by the Raiders, so that's the 10th team foul committed by Frontenac. Double bonus for the Tigers now. And excuse me, that is the third on Brooks. I said earlier Brooks already had 3. That is now his third. But Wilbert missing a crucial free throw on the opposite end, and Martini with a chance to tie. 2 free throws now in the double bonus. Dips the ball below his leg, shoots, and a beautiful shot. Martini now 3 of 3 tonight. Martini tees off, ties it. 42 apiece, 3:11 to go in the ball game. Brown in the backcourt finds Baldwin, who snakes the ball over the head of O'Malley, and a foul committed by Martini. That is 4 on him. 19 fouls by the Tigers, which will put Wilbur on the free throw line shooting a 1-1. Tonight he is 0 of 2 from the stripe. Just a little over 3 minutes remaining in what has been a fun matchup in Carthage, Missouri. The Raiders led through the first half of play, but the Tigers bounce back in the third, storming as Wilbert knocks down the front of his 2 shots. And the Tigers went on a 6-0 run over in a minute-half span in the third quarter to make it just a 1-point ball game. Frontenac responded, but the full court press by Carthage providing a lot of issues for this team. 1 of 4 from the free throw line following that last miss by Wilbert tonight. 12 points for Wilbert, 43-42 the score. Raiders lead. High ball screen set by O'Malley. Jump shot. Johnson sinks it. Absolutely railed it through. No problems at all. And the net even popped up to say hello. 2:50 to go in the contest. 45-43 the score. The Tigers lead by 2. Wilbert past midcourt. He stands on the black stripe of the orange Tiger. Crosses over right to left. Johnson on his hip. Double clutches. Pull up. My goodness. Wilbert with the killer mentality. 46-45 the score now. Jab step by Johnson. Attacks right short corner, and a foul by Brown as Johnson will go to the free throw line now. So Johnson will head to the free throw line now. His first offering is good. Johnson attempting his 3rd and 4th free throw tonight. He is now 2 of 3. As it's tied up at 45 apiece. Carthage takes the lead. 3 of 4 for Johnson tonight for 12 points. Wilbert crosses the opposite end free throw line, and on your dial, the Raiders are going from right to left. 2:19 left in the ball game. Baldwin thinking about setting a high ball screen, but Wilbur will take it under his own accord to go inside. Smith jars the ball loose. He dives on the floor for it. Smith now with 5 steals in the contest. On the break, O'Malley surges, scores! 48-45, and this place is starting to get rowdy. Wilbur trying to take it by himself, dribbling the ball with his right hand. He wants to clear out. Brown now trying to divvy up the duties of the Raiders. Wrap around past the Baldwin, who comes curling from the left side of the court to the right. Watts with Smith on him. $1:45 left in the contest. The Raiders trailing by 3, 48-45. Wilbur, 14 points in the contest. He's 1 of 3 from deep. The Raiders have had the propensity to knock down 3-pointers and a tendency and penchant to shoot it in situations like this. Wilbur facing the 2-3 zone. He has a mismatch against Martini. They switch off. Deep 3, dialed up, ill-advised shot. Martini comes up with the board. Wilbur could have had a million other better shots in that situation. He had a forward on him and decided to settle for 3. O'Malley set to run out the clock. 1:12 in the contest, remaining a 3-point lead for the Tigers. Coach Barcelona saying, don't foul. Now I think he is saying go fouls. Baldwin steps up to come defend Downey. That was almost a 10-second shave of the clock. Make it 15 now. It's under a minute remaining in the contest. Brown defending Johnson. He picks up his dribble. Looks. Finds Smith. He's trapped in the right corner. Tries to wheel around, and a foul on the floor committed by Wilbert, and Smith will head to the free throw line. He has some words to say back to Wilbert. And Arkel Smith, the 3 of 6 from the free throw line. He has a gorgeous stroke and a good chance to seal it as Coach Barcelona will use a timeout. 52 seconds left in the game. We will have Arkel Smith back at the free throw line to potentially seal this contest. 48-45, Carthage leads by 3. You're listening to Radio X 103.5, The Evolution. Back in 30 seconds. And we will keep it here in Carthage, Missouri. 52 seconds remaining in the ball game. 48-45 is the score. The Raiders leading currently, or excuse me, the Raiders trailing currently. Carthage up by 3. And right now, Coach Barcelona trying to orchestrate what is a possible comeback for his team. The maestro for this Raider squad has been Jake Wilbert, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and assists. He is the game's leading scorer as well, 5 of 9 from the field. So Smith will go to the free throw line. He has 2 shots following the foul committed by Wilbert. Excuse me, Brown, as it has not been changed on the scoreboard. Smith sets himself. His first offering is good. Smith shooting his 7th and 8th free throws of the night here. He is now 4 of 7, and now he is trying to relay a message to the rest of his teammates to get back defensively after this second free throw. A chance to go 5 of 8 from the line here. Yes. 5-point ball game. Subbing out will be Martini. Fullerton will come in, so Martini, who was a good free throw shooter, is surprisingly out of this game now, so probably a more speedy set for this Tigers team. Leaking out in transition, a vein of offense in Wilbert as he picks up his dribble. Smith detours it. Ball still loose. Brown comes up with it, and it's a foul on the floor, and it looks to be on the Tigers. That is the 11th team foul committed by the Tigers. So a Raider will go to the free throw line shooting soon, and it will be Wilbert. That was a little bit of a late call. That stops the clock with 45 seconds left, and that's 4 on Fullerton. Good. As Wilbert knocks his first down. And Coach Ray will use a timeout. 45 seconds remaining in the ball game. 50-46 is the score. The Tigers lead by 4. We are back in 30 seconds.
The human eye blinks about 17,000 times a day, but here's a real eye-opener. Dry eyes can cause irritation, red eyes, and blurred vision. Don't assume your blurry vision means you need new glasses or contacts. The doctors at Canar Eye Care are experienced in diagnosing and treating dry eyes with the newest treatments available. So schedule your eye exam in Pittsburgh or Girard with Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Exciting Raiders basketball action on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
And a merry welcome back to Carthage, Missouri. 50-46 is the score. 45 seconds remaining. Coach Ray for the Tigers using a timeout, wanting to devise a plan with the last 45 ticks on the clock and make sure his team does not foul as they did to Wilbert, who was currently at the free throw line, and he'll have a pair awaiting him. Thanks goes out to our cameraman tonight and Caleb Withnell, as well as Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studios, as well as Tyler Derrick getting us on the air tonight, and Cheyenne Schaefer for providing statistics tonight. From the free throw line is Wilbert's. First attempt is good. And actually, he goes 2 of 2, I beg your pardon. He knocked down his free throw prior to the break, so now he is 3 of 6 in the contest, and a foul in the backcourt. So Martini will go to the free throw line. He is 4 of 4 in this contest. 50-47 is the score. So Martini again 4-4 from the line in this contest, 6 points, 5 rebounds. The Raiders, despite having the mismatch in size, have been +9 on the boards tonight. Martini, good. 5 of 5 from the stripe tonight, and Martini down the stretch has been clutch. Watts will sub in. Subbing out will be Franklin, and Franklin will now have the defensive role from now on so that he will be basically a body who comes in and fouls every possession. Martini's second is good. 43 seconds left, 5-point ball game again. Baldwin nearly travels. Brown finds Watts. Left wing three, denied! As Smith comes soaring from out of the peripherals of Watts and sends it out of bounds. Brown will inbound from the tee of the Tigers lettering on the baseline, 36 seconds remaining. Brown skips it in. Baldwin sets himself, but he has a wide open Watts for three. Leaves it short, rebound by Martini. The Tigers trying to run out clock. Fullerton, Smith, who was fouled in the backcourt. And the Tigers tonight, 18 of 25 from the stripe. Coach Ray has to be pleased with his group's composure in this ball game, just the ability to stay focused and hone in on their objective at hand. At this rate, the Raiders will drop to 0-3 on the season under second-year head coach Ryan Barcelona. Smith will take his time. Drills it. Smith will be shooting his 9th and 10th free throw here. He's hit 6 of 9 tonight. A good chance to go 70% right now. 7 of 10 on the night. Smith goes 1 of 2. He is 6 of 10 in the ball game with 12 points. Time for the leading scorer right next to Johnson as Wilbert forks it back to Brown. Brown scorches a pass over to Baldwin. He passes it up. He should have taken that shot. Wilbert sets himself. 3. Good! 53-50 is the score. A lot of time ran off the clock as the timeout was called. And immediately the officials are saying that, or rather, excuse me, immediately the Raiders coaching staff is saying that a good 4 or 5 seconds ticked off the clock. I think it's more like a second, but the reaction time at a high school level to stop the clock, you can't really criticize anyone. But the 3 is good by Wilbert. He's 2 of 5 from downtown in this contest. So Coach Barcelona is going to urge his boys to foul. But now it is channeling who you want to foul and who the ball is going to go to. So if you are the Raiders in this case, you are bodying up Smith at all times. Most likely Wilbert will be guarding Smith. You'll have Brooks on Martini or maybe a faster player on Martini just to ensure he does not catch it. You want the ball probably in the hands of O'Malley or Johnson in this situation. Downing is still on the court, so Downing will actually be subbed out. So Johnson, O'Malley, Fullerton, Martini, and Smith are on the court, the starters. So at least you want to keep the ball out of the hands of Smith and Martini, and you would imagine Martini, who stands at midcourt, will fly from half court to post up and ask for the basketball. Man-to-man, the Raiders flashing it. Timeout used by the Tigers. Good defense by the Raiders to deny everything. And I think time ran off the clock. It did. And the officials are going to reset it. It will probably go back to 14.6 or 14.8 seconds. A good 1.8 seconds ran off. 3-point contest here in Carthage, Missouri. Tigers at home leading by 3, 53-50. The Raiders looking for their first one on the season. Coach Ray trying to provide his team with enough nourishment in terms of knowledge and a steady hand to push them over the 500 mark. The Raiders losing last time out to the Grizzlies. And in the contest, a quick recap of the scoring. 11 points for Watts, 19 for Wilbert, 3 for Baldwin, 8 for Ginnivan, who fouled out early on in the fourth quarter, 7 for Brown, 2 for Brooks, 2 for Huntley on the Tigers side, 1 for Jackson, 12 for Smith, 7 for O'Malley, 2 for Johnson, or should be 2 for Downing, 12 for Johnson, 7 for Martini, 9 for Fullerton. Inbounding will be Fullerton, as Franklin will come in for the Raiders. Johnson again tries to curl in front of Brown. He has a little bit of separation. Fullerton bounce pass. He has Johnson, who is absolutely walloped in the backcourt, and will head to the free throw line. Johnson tonight 3 of 4 from the stripe, compared to Martini, who is 5 of 5, and Smith, who is 6 of 10 as a unit, 19 of 27 from the stripe. That's a plus 11 advantage for this Carthage Tiger team, and Johnson with an opportunity to probably ice it since there are 13 ticks left in this contest. Johnson misses the front of his 2 shots, so the door is still open for this Raiders team. So at this point, your options are not to force the 3, but instead go inside for the lay-in as Johnson goes 1 of 2 from the stripe, 4 of 6 on the night. So there will not be a down screen set by Watts as he is now towards midcourt. Wilbert is standing in front of Baldwin. Baldwin turns around, hands off to Wilbert, but that will start the clock. He needs to move. There are 10 seconds left. He doesn't realize that. He finds Baldwin on a skip pass. Left wing is Brown. Brown goes to the left corner, dribbles in between his legs. 5 seconds left. No one will get a shot off. And the Raiders, as Baldwin flushes it down, will lose this contest. Late game execution. Poor on the part of the Raiders. I don't understand the whole inbounds there, but Baldwin just tossed the ball into the chest of Wilbert, and Wilbert just waltzed up court. Never sprinted, nothing. And I was surprised, as I alluded to, there would be no one going on the home run opportunity. Watts was standing at half court. He would not be the man to set the down screen in that situation because you would want to free Wilbert up, your leading scorer and probably the fastest player on the court. So Frontenac, late game execution leads to their demise. They allow the Tigers to get to the free throw line 29 times in this contest, 20 of 29 total, and the Raiders falter, stumbling 54-52. We will step aside for 2 minutes, bring you back final stats as well as a conversation with Coach Barcelona about tonight's matchup. We'll be right back with your home of Frontenac Athletics on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
Hey folks, it's Josh from QSI. Are you looking to have a new garage, hobby shop, ag, or equestrian structure built? Call QSI. You get a fully engineered building with a 60-year column and a 40-year metal warranty. QSI buildings are rated for 115-mile-an-hour wind gusts and are built tough to exceed most building codes. Choose the best, choose QSI, and call us today at 800-374-6988 or log on to qualitystructures.com now for more information.
Their life. If you're rethinking your life goals, the Envision process can help you try on your ideas before committing to them. Maybe you're thinking about retiring early or starting your own business. Your Envision plan can tell you how adding a goal could affect your ability to reach your objectives. For more information, call Shane Peak today at 620-232-3120. That's 620-232-3120. Wells Fargo Advisors is a trade name used by Wells Fargo Clearing Services, LLC, member SIPC.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
And we welcome you back to your home of Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution, alongside Caleb With now with Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studio. I'm Cam Molina. We'll be joined here in about 10 seconds by Frontenac head boys basketball coach in Ryan Barcelona. It was a loss for the Raiders, their third of the season, dropping a decision to the Carthage Tigers. Final score 54-52. Coach, we welcome you in to 103.5, and obviously not the result you were looking for. And it seemed, as you led at halftime 26-19, that the third quarter with that press really started to hasten the pace of things for your team, and that's where things started to get out of control.
Yeah, it did. You know, I thought we were able to do some good things tonight. You know, they came back, and then we went ahead, went on a little run of ourselves and extended to, I think, 4 or 5 points. And Proud of the kids. We played well tonight. Carthage is a real good team, and our kids battled tonight. And we're getting better each and every day, and that's the most important thing.
And Coach, as you say, your team is improving each and every day, but last 13 seconds, Baldwin inbounding just chucks it to Wilbert. You guys are within 3 points, 4 points of that time. Late game execution, kind of difficult in that situation, especially since you guys have only had 4 or 5 practices. Can you touch on how your team will mature as the year goes along and how you need to be able to execute down the stretch?
Right, and it's great teaching moments. We're getting guys in that didn't get to play much last year. Now they're getting their chance, and to execute like that down the stretch, these situations are good for us because when you got to win those games in the league and sub-state, it's going to come down to those little possessions like that, and to get that experience, that's the most important thing, to be on the floor and get that experience.
Coach, another intricacy, a factor of tonight was the rebounding battle. Your boys, despite having the size mismatch, did an excellent job boxing out, finding their man. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, we've really been trying to concentrate on that, is limit them to 1 shot or less possession and us getting 1 shot or more possession. And it's kind of simple, but that's really what we're trying to break it down to. And, I feel like when we did that, limit Carthage's opportunities, it gives us more of a chance. And once again, it was just came down to free throws tonight, and you got to give Carthage credit. They made their free throws down the stretch, and that's what's able to get them to win tonight.
Carthage 20 of 29 from the stripe tonight, but Coach, I do want to touch on one more positive. A controversial call midway through the 4th quarter. Ginnivan exits the game, but your boys really stepped up. They knew that it was the next man up mentality, and they played an excellent brand of basketball despite losing one of their better players as well as a team leader.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a tough situation for us to lose Brock as he was playing so well and aggressive, and it was nice to see kids come in and still play hard. And Brock's still on the bench, and it's like he's in the game. He's encouraging guys, helping on the floor where they need to be, and that's what you like to see. That's what leaders do. And our seniors are doing a great job of encouraging our younger guys, and I feel like we took another step tonight in the right direction.
Coach, you're very optimistic, and that will rub off on your boys. I think they are in great hands under your control. Again, sorry for the loss tonight, but continue to improve, and thank you for the time.
Hey, thanks for coming over, and have a safe drive.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, that was the Frontenac head boys basketball coach Ryan Barcelona on tonight's 54-52 loss. We'll go over stats quickly to wrap up the broadcast tonight. We'll start with the Tigers, who had a standout performance from Arkell Smith, 12 points, 4 rebounds, and assists, 5 steals, 0 turnovers for him, and after 1 quarter of play, he had notched 0 points in the contest, and he had 2 fouls, so what a turnaround for him. A night-and-day performance, as the cliche goes, between the first half and the second half. Marcus Huntley, 2 points, 2 rebounds, a steal, a turnover. Terrace Jackson, 1 point, 7 points for Ian O'Malley, 2 points for Tucker Downing. Chase Johnson wraps it up with 13 points and a rebound, 7 points for Alex Martini. He went 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds. Brett Fullerton, 9 points, 2 big 3-pointers to help close the gap between the third quarter, at the end of the first half and the third quarter, In total, they were out-rebounded 21-12, but the free throws really came into play late in game. 20 of 19 for the Tigers, 8 of 15 for the Raiders, as Blaine Baldwin, 5 points, 2 rebounds. Watts, 11 points. Wilbert, 19 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist on about 50% shooting, so that's a pretty good mark for him. Brock Ginnivan, 8 points, 7 rebounds. He fouled out in the 4th quarter of play. Peyton Brown, 7 points, 2 points for Noah Brooks, 3 rebounds. He also had 3 fouls, filling in for Hayden Pyle. That will do it here from Carthage, Missouri. Special thanks goes out to Anthony Sweeney back at our 103.5 studios, from Caleb Withnow, Shina Schaefer, Tyler Dara, and the rest of our Radio X 103.5, the Evolution staff. I'm Cam Molina. Have fun, be safe. Raiders fall tonight 54-52 and drop to 0-3 on the season.
If you are injured in an accident or on the job, it is vitally important that you hire the right attorney. Before choosing an attorney, you should make sure they have the resources to fight large corporations or insurance companies. Your attorney should have extensive trial court